friends, it's Melissa and we're back with another video nobody asked for and nobody wanted. And again, it is about Pokemon. Today, well, the last video we went ahead and talked about what my 10 favorite Pokemon are that are not legendaries. These are Pokemon that I like to have on teams, they're just Pokemon that I think are cute, Pokemon that I have personal attachment with, or just look badass. So today, we're going to take those same general guidelines and rules. So basically for this, it's my top 10 favorite legendary Pokemon. Now, these are Pokemon that, cause I normally don't actually like using legendary Pokemon just on teams in general. I think it's a little cheap, unless I'm just doing it to have fun and be like, what's the best legendary team I can put up with? We're not taking into account any like extra forms that some of them may have. We're not taking into account any that evolve, because that's a thing now. Some legendaries evolve. So we're not really taking that into account. We're also not including mystical Pokemon. Mystical Pokemon are Pokemon that you can only get through an event, a code, something like that. So you won't find Jirachi, Mew, Celebi, Deoxys. You won't be finding those kinds of Pokemon on this list. If there's enough want, I might make my top 10 mystical Pokemon list, because there's a lot. That also being said, you won't see Pokemon like not Dialga. You won't see Pokemon like Darkrai on this list either, since he does fall into that category. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started then. I am looking at all of the games, and honestly, I shocked myself when making this list. There's Pokemon that I didn't really think I liked that much that made it pretty high on the list. So we're gonna just get started with this shocker, and we're gonna start with the biggest, one of the biggest shockers to me already. In the number 10 spot, we have Zapdos. I've always loved Zapdos. I love electric Pokemon, and Zapdos just has a really cool design, but Zapdos also is plagued by what I feel like a lot of electric types kind of fall into, with me at least, where they can have like a really high special attack or defense and a really high speed, but that's it. And so there's a point where an electric type Pokemon doesn't become powerful anymore, and I think that's the reason why I had Zapdos so low down on this list, because Zapdos has always been one of my favorites, and I kind of stunned myself when I ranked it at number 10, but it does feel right to place it there, and it is one of the first legendary Pokemon, and it is still fantastic, and I still love it to this day. In the number 9 spot, we have Dialga. See, you guys got a teaser there with my mess up in the intro. Now, Dialga, I also shocked myself, because I actually really don't like the Sinnoh region that much. A lot of people know the Sinnoh region is my least favorite Pokemon region, as of right now. And there's a lot of things that I just felt like I was really oversaturated with a lot of different legendary Pokemon. I felt it was really like, I don't know, I didn't like a lot of the Pokemon, I didn't like a lot of the designs, but Dialga is badass, okay? Like, Roar of Time is one of my favorite, if not my actual favorite, dragon moves of all time. I love the graphics of it in every single game, and having that as Dialga's signature move, to have that badass of a move match with this badass of a Pokemon, it just makes sense. And I couldn't see it any other way. Plus, I love the colors that are on Dialga, how it's got a very nice, sleek design, but there is like elegance and power in it as well. So I felt like Dialga was a really good job. Plus, I don't really like bipedal Pokemon that much, and so having Dialga be a quadruped made the decision a little easier for who I was putting on this list. In the number 8 spot, we have Suicune. Now, this also kind of surprised me, because I felt this one would be kind of next to another one on my list, but it's actually lower than I thought, which is kind of surprising. But Suicune is just one of those super beautiful, elegant Pokemon that's actually strong, too. I love, like, stocking Suicunes up with, like, tons of strong ice moves and really just getting in there. I once had a Suicune where it just knew sheer cold, and that was it. And I was in, like, a 3-on-3 battle, and sheer cold hit every single time, so the battle was over in 3 turns. Lovely. I love that Pokemon so much. yeah, I've just always really liked Suicune. I liked Suicunes in like the movies too, when like the animation just makes them look so elegant, and plus there was like an artist who did some realistic art at one point in time, and I don't want to put it up because I have copyright and stuff. Just Google like realistic Suicune and I'm sure it'll pop up. But Suicune literally looks like a wolf, and then like everything else just looks like it's made out of crystal, and it's so, so beautiful, and I love it. If a Suicune was real, I would be in such awe of that creature because it is so, so beautiful. Okay, in my number 7 spot, we've got Groudon. Now, Groudon, again, I'm probably pronouncing names wrong, but I don't care. I'm pronouncing it the way I always have. Groudon has always been a really cool Pokemon to me. I admired how it was like the direct contrast to another Pokemon that you'll see later on this list. But I really liked the type of like contrast, and then the idea of like Team Magma wanting to control just magma-based Pokemon was really cool. And plus they could have done Groudon in a bunch of different ways, but I really like the simplicity of like his back is kind of sleek, but on the end there's like his tail is like spikes, and then how, you know, he's kind of like Godzilla in a little bit of a sense, you know, a giant lizard monster that breathes fire. I'm actually just realizing that now. He's a lot like Godzilla. Maybe that's why I like him so much, but Groudon's a good one. Always really reliable, really high defense and attack, so always know you're gonna get some good blows in there. Not very fast, but, you know, he makes up with it with the defense at least. Alright, number 6. We've got Articuno. This Pokemon ended up a lot higher on my list. I kept going back and forth between like Zapdos should be next to Articuno, and then Articuno should be above Zapdos, and then I was like they should be right next to each other at the bottom, and then I'm like no, they don't belong. Yeah, Articuno is just beautiful too. Kind of in the same idea as Suicune. It's just very elegant and poised, but also very powerful. I normally, whenever I get an Articuno, I normally play with the flying element of its typing more than I do with the ice, but I like both. It's just a really good combo. Ice and flying, you don't really get that much, and so I really do enjoy that as like a very nice combo. Now with Articuno, phone, stop. Now with Articuno, it just feels very like crisp and clean. Its design is simple but realistic enough too. Similarly enough to Suicune, you can like Google again like realistic Pokemon art of like these Pokemon, and it just looks like that's how they need to be. That's how they would exist in this world. And Articuno, it just makes sense. Like, its design makes sense, its moveset makes sense, its stats make sense, and I don't feel like it's obscenely powerful or fast or anything, but Articuno is like a nice, reliable Pokemon still, which is why it's in the middle of the list. Alright, we're getting into like the heartbreaker territory where like I wanted to have these even higher on the list than they are, but they just couldn't. So we're gonna go ahead. Number 5, we have Ho-Oh. I've always really thought Ho-Oh was cool. Like a freaking phoenix. That's what Ho-Oh is. But one thing that always bothered me about Ho-Oh is that it's called like the rainbow bird Pokemon, but its body is not a full rainbow, you know? You've just got a couple colors in there. So that was one thing that always kind of disappointed me, but I also got it, you know, limited colors when you're designing, it's fine. But nonetheless, I've still always really enjoyed Ho-Oh and its design. Again, I like birds, so there's a lot of birds on this list, a lot of flying Pokemon. But there's just something really nice about Ho-Oh. I love the move Sacred Fire. It just, again, it makes really a lot of sense. Ho-Oh feels like a Pokemon that is quite older, but still will, like, beat you when it needs to, you know? Ho-Oh's like your parrot coming at you with a belt or your chancla. That's what Ho-Oh is. You respect them, you fear them, but you love them. Ho-Oh is just like a respectable Pokemon, and I always love in the Pokedex entries it's normally like got its feathers above its head, and I really just like that look for Ho-Oh because that is like its fearsome, like I am on the attack kind of pose. Moving right along, can't have Ho on this list without the Pokemon our number 4 spot, which is Lugia. Now Lugia, it was hard for me to put Lugia above Ho, let me just say that. Because Ho doesn't get enough attention, okay? But Lugia's got movies, Lugia's got, like, everything. And I will admit, it's rightly so. Lugia, again, is a very nice, sleekly designed Pokemon. It's very lovable. It doesn't feel as old as Ho-Oh. It feels very young in comparison, but still respected and powerful, if that makes sense. Now, even now, as I'm filming this, and I didn't look up types or anything, this is all off the top of my head, but I genuinely can't remember what type Lugia is other than flying. I can't remember if it's water or something else. But I always felt like in the games, you know, Lugia was set up to feel like the stronger one, because when you have Lugia and you have Ho-Oh, you have water and fire, two opposites, but in the Pokemon universe, water always beats fire. So I always felt like Lugia was set up to be the more powerful one, even though Ho-Oh was set up to feel like the more respected, feared kind of one. Lugia, loved Lugia since the first Pokemon movie, so I can't be mad about that. It really did pain me to put Lugia above Ho-Oh. Like, it's not even about, like, I feel like they both deserve their spots. But in another world, this list is flipped. 4 and 5 are swapped, but I couldn't do it in our current timeline. Alright, we are nearing the top. Number 3. Raikou. Now, I love Raikou because Raikou's like the underdog, literally. Raikou has never been hasn't had its own movie at all. Raikou has gotten very little, like, airtime, you know. There's been a movie about Suicune. There's been a movie about Entei. Why can't Raikou get their own movie? I want to know about Raikou. You know why? Because Raikou's got a freaking lightning bolt as a tail. Like, come on. That's the Pokemon I want to know more about, not Mr. Entei with his big, deep beard, and Suicune, who's elegant. Like, yes, I want to know about Suicune, please. But, like, Raikou doesn't get any love? Come on! So, I've always liked the colors for Raikou, even in its shiny version. I've always loved the color scheme. It felt like a tiger-jaguar mix kind of a thing with a cheetah, and I love all of those big cats, so I always felt like, hey, it works perfectly. Plus, Raikou does feel more like a cat in comparison to Suicune and Raikou, who both feel like dogs, and I know they're the wild dog trio or something. But Raikou's always felt more cat-like, and so for some reason it made me always feel like it was stronger. Obviously it's faster, because that's just one of the tropes. Oh gosh. I've been filming for a long time. I've been talking and rambling way too much. Okay. But yeah. Raikou. Really, really good. Love him. He's best out of dog trio. Next Pokemon. And in the number 2 spot, we have the best dragon, Rayquaza. Rayquaza, ever since they came into the games, it was in Pokemon Emerald as like the main Pokemon, and I loved the heck out of Rayquaza. So much so that several times in my records, I have gone through the Elite Four with only my Rayquaza at level 100, with only eggs in the party, and come out unscathed. Rayquaza's a BAMF! Like, you can't not love it. It's just a dragon. That's a straight up dragon, and a powerful one at that. Okay, we're going to do some quick honorable mentions. I'm not going to give reasons for them, or if I do, I'll try to make it really quick, because we got to still get to the number 1 Pokemon, and I only have 5 minutes left for footage. So, honorable mentions are Registeel, Regice, Regirock, Latios/Latios, Azelf, Xerneas, and Yveltal. Obviously, Xerneas and Yveltal I just feel are too new. Azelf, I really just like the design. I just feel like it's underappreciated, but there's nothing much more than that. Latios and Latios, I just felt like they're special, but they weren't special enough to make it onto the list. Regice, Regirock, Registeel, I've always felt that they looked cool, but I've never really used them that much, and that's why I decided they didn't belong on the list. Cool. Got that out of the way. Honorable mentions done. Cool. Our number 1 legendary Pokemon, if you couldn't guess already by now, because I also have Groudon and I have Rayquaza, so we have to have Kyogre. I always loved whales growing up, and Kyogre is literally an orca whale. I went to SeaWorld a lot as a kid before I knew everything was bad and all of that. Before Blackfish. But yeah, I always just loved Kyogre though. I was always like a really big fan of Team Aqua, and I really liked their costuming better compared to Team Magma's, because Team Magma was like, nah, and I felt like water made more sense to take over the world with than Earth. Yeah, just Team Aqua's always seemed cooler to me, and so I was like, yeah, that's their legendary Pokemon. They can have it. I'll get Rayquaza. They can have that. But honestly, I want both. Just call me Archie, because I want to be the leader of Team Aqua so I can have my Kyogre. But for real, Kyogre's always been like an equally elegant and powerful Pokemon. It feels as mighty as it looks. You see that it's like ancient, and there's a huge like respect that everybody in the games has for Kyogre. And that was one of the reasons that like it really made me draw to it, because I was like, this is cool. This is history. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but yes. But yeah, basically Kyogre's a whale. I love whales. Cool whale. Best whale. Yeah. One of the biggest and heaviest Pokemon in all of Pokemon too, like, might I add. Big boy over here. Good Pokemon. Alrighty. So that does it for this video. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think of my list again. If you guys want to, I'm actually currently replaying through Pokemon Emerald on my Twitch channel right now, so make sure you guys follow. So if you guys want to see me play through Pokemon Emerald, you can be there and help me name Pokemon, because I'm really bad with Pokemon names. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think about this list. Comment that down below. Maybe leave me your top 10 Pokemon or legendary Pokemon list down below. Obviously, mine are vastly different. I actually had a Pokemon from Sinnoh on here, which was a big shock, I'm sure. But yeah, other than that, if you guys want to watch the other video that we did about Pokemon, you can click right over here. And if you guys want to subscribe, please click right over here. It really helps me out, and I'm trying to get to 500 by the end of VidCon, which I think is super possible. So, we got 2 weeks. Let's do it. No, we got 4 weeks. Let's do it. But thank you guys so much again, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye! Bye-bye!